From homeless black man to millionaire, an inspiring American success story. Lucas once had everything: a corner office, a sleek car, a life full of plans and victories. Now, he's trapped in a wheelchair, confined to his penthouse on the edge of the city. His legs don't work, but worse, his heart feels frozen. His children run free down on the square below, laughing, chasing dreams he can only watch from behind glass. Every glance at Michael, his youngest son, hits like a weight in his chest, freedom slipping through fingers he can no longer move. But then, on this ordinary morning, a flash of color cuts through the gray hum of the city. Sophia, she's a black woman, worn but striking, with a smile that slices through the cold air. Her clothes are torn, her hair wild. She's homeless, sure, but when she dances with Michael out there, spinning him like she owns the world, something catches Lucas's breath. Grace, fire, life. It tugs at the edges of a memory long buried deep beneath. Lucas leans forward in his chair, his eyes narrow, tracking her every move. The crowd around them hushes, some whispering, others shocked by the unexpected joy pouring out onto cracked pavement. Who is she? Lucas wonders, the lump growing in his throat. Her rhythm is raw, fluid, born to perform, yet forced to survive on the streets. And she is haunted too. Once a star, a performer celebrated. Glowing in the spotlight, her past is littered with tragedy so cruel it could break a soul. Something ripped her life apart, dumped her here, yet Sophia moves like she carries a secret power only the broken know. Lucas feels his heart clenched and torn all at once. A strange hope stirs. Maybe, just maybe, they can pull each other back from their shadows. But beneath the glimmer of new friendship lurks darkness. Marcus, a rival. A predator disguised in a polished suit and fake smiles. He's watched Lucas fall. Now Marcus is terrified. If Sophia's light shines, it could snuff out everything Marcus's ruthless climb has built. He won't just stand by. He will destroy what sparks between them, no matter the cost. Lucas senses the poison creeping closer, the stakes climbing fast. Secrets will surface, pain will rise. But there's also a fragile thread of trust beginning to weave between him and Sophia. A chance to heal, to fight, to dream. Yet, as the city's hum turns restless, an invisible storm gathers. Something terrible waits on the edges, ready to shatter this fragile bond just when hope feels closest. Lucas watches from his window, the sparkle fading from Sophia's eyes as she disappears into the crowd. His fingers tighten on the chair's arms. Hope battles dread inside him. Can this wild connection survive the coming storm? Or will the past consume them both? The night waits, so does the truth. Hey! Before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important warning. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube removed their subscriptions without notice. Take a quick look at the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I don't want you to miss any exclusive content that's coming. And since you're here, drop a powerful like that really helps me with the algorithm. Oh, élenme en los comentarios. ¿Qué ciudad estás viendo? Me encanta conocer a cada gente maravilloso. ¿Qué es parte de esta comunidad. Tu participación hace toda la diferencia. Vamos a interactuar. Lucas, mirando hacia su ventanita, el Sparkle feliz y no mentó cuando parece desaparecer en el carro. Su lema detiene contra el mundo e imposible ser el pasado. Ole paso consume a todos. Den que pasa. Un sonido pérridas. Se irrumpe en el caos. Lucas se acerca más. Manor solando las sombras que se salen corriendo. Será Marcus. His face is set, twisted with rage. In that moment, Lucas feels time freeze. A knot tightens in his stomach. What is he doing? Marcus shouts, his voice slicing through the chaos. Sophia, you think you can just dance your way back into his life? You're nothing! Panic surges through Lucas. No, he can't let Marcus destroy this. Not now. Not when he feels something so real. He pushes his chair back, but his legs scream for him to stay put. Sophia looks up, her face a mix of confusion and fear. She had been laughing with Michael a moment ago. Now she's frozen, caught between hope and the threat that looms so close. Get away from her! Lucas roars, though he knows he's trapped. His body won't allow him the strength to burst through the glass. He can only watch. The crowd sways like a wave, surging and pulling back, whispers spreading like wildfire. What's going on? Is that Lucas? Who's that guy? Marcus steps closer to Sophia, his eyes gleaming with a dark light. Still playing the victim, Sophia? Remember what you were? You think this is freedom? It's a joke. A flash of recognition hits Lucas. He remembers her not just as a dancer on the street, but as someone who had once stolen the spotlight, a name that echoed through theater halls. This predator wasn't a stranger. He was the reason Sophia had fallen. The devil in a suit, here to finish what he started. With a sudden roar of anger, Michael steps forward, innocent rage in his small body. Leave her alone! The child's voice rings out, defiant, cutting through the noise. But Marcus simply laughs, a cruel, sharp sound that sends shivers. Or what? You'll cry? This isn't your world, kid. Stay out of it. Lucas feels the world closing in. This is not just about survival anymore. It's about the fight for hope. He looks at Sophia, her trembling lips, her haunted eyes. He needs her to understand. Sophia, you're stronger than this. But as Marcus grabs Sophia's arm, dragging her back, reality twists again. A flash of metal glints in his hand. A knife. The crowd gasps collectively. A heavy silence, falling like a blanket. Lucas's heart skids to a stop. Sophia gasps, the life draining from her face. No, Marcus, please. Lucas's breath catches. Will this be the end of everything? Will their chance vanish in an instant? Let her go, he shouts, his voice cracking. But before anyone can react, an explosion of sound erupts from behind Marcus. Sirens, police, the crowd parts. Chaos breaks into a frenzy. The figure in the suit freezes, eyes wide. Panic floods his features. He drops the knife, eyes darting, calculating. Get away from me, he screams. And then, amidst the confusion, something breaks. A hidden truth. A woman from the crowd stumbles forward, her eyes locked on Marcus. You think you can hide forever? You can't escape what you've done. The world shifts. Lucas feels reality buckle. Who is she? As Marcus stands reeling, a storm of emotions thrashes within Lucas. Secrets, lies, and a past too deep to capture unravel. This connection to Sophia, a fragile bond, now teeters on the brink. And just like that, Lucas realizes the storm has already begun. Sophia looks at him, eyes wide. A whirl of fear and hope. Will the truth bind them or tear them apart? The night stretches, filled with uncertainty. The truth lurks, dark and foreboding, ready to break free. What comes next could shatter everything. Lucas watches the square below, tension coiling in his chest. Sophia dances, her laughter echoing against the city's concrete walls. He leans closer, willing the world outside to pull him in, to lift the weight he carries. But then, an explosion of sound shatters the moment. Screams pierce the air. A commotion swells like a rising tide. Lucas's heart races. He strains to see. A figure emerges from the crowd. Ah ha ha ha! A tall man under a black hoodie, face hidden. He lunges forward, shoving people aside, eyes fixed on Sophia. Run! Lucas shouts, though his voice is lost in the chaos. Sophia spins, fear clawing at her features, but it's too late. The man grabs her wrist, pulling her close. Panic ripples through the crowd. People freeze, their faces twisted in horror, minds racing to make sense of the chaos. Stop! Lucas screams again, hands tightening on his chair's arms. The sight sends a jolt of electricity through him. He fights against his paralysis, heart pounding like a drum. Let her go! A voice cracks through the crowd. Marcus, stepping forward, a smug sneer twisting his lips. The man jerks back, surprise flashing across his face. I'm with her, he snarls, eyes darting from Marcus to Sophia. She struggles, fear visible in her wide eyes. Lucas feels his heart skip, a frantic beat against the encroaching dread. But then, something shifts in the air, thickening with tension. The hooded man's grip loosens slightly, and in that moment, Marcus lunges. Lucas's breath catches. He watches, horrified, as Marcus collides with the hooded figure, fists flying. The crowd gasps, a wave of shock rippling outward. Then, chaos erupts once more. The falling bodies hit the ground. Lucas gasps. Shock courses through him. He tries to call out again, to command the situation, but only a desperate whisper escapes his lips. But it's too late. In the scuffle, the hooded figure pulls something from his pocket. Reflective metal flashes in the sunlight. A knife. Stay back, he bellows. And just like that, the energy shifts. A ripple of fear runs through the onlookers, some backing away, eyes wide with terror. Lucas clenches his jaw, body on fire with urgency. He can't let this happen. He spots Sophia, rooted like a statue, fear locking her in place. In that fleeting moment, her eyes connect with his, and something unspoken passes between them. The weight of loss, the bond of survival. Then, everything explodes. A gunshot echoes sharply, piercing through the air. Time seems to freeze for Lucas. The world fades into silence. And then, like a storm breaking, chaos resumes. Marcus stumbles back, blood spreading rapidly, while the hooded man vanishes into the crowd, shadows swallowing him whole. The crowd erupts into panic. Screams of horror and confusion wash over Lucas like a tidal wave. His head spins. Sophia is now on her knees, hands trembling, eyes wide, as she looks from Marcus's limp figure to the chaos around her. What just happened? Lucas's heartbeat thunders in his ears, a pulse of disbelief. He thought he was watching her shine, yet darkness has clawed its way back into their lives. Then, a startling realization hits him like a punch. The blood staining the pavement belongs to Marcus, the very man who'd sought to destroy everything he'd started with Sophia. But why did he die? What did this all mean? And there, amidst the broken pieces, Lucas sits paralyzed. The air thickens, pulsing with shock as Marcus lies there, blood soaking into the pavement. Sophia kneels, hands trembling, staring wide-eyed between the fallen man and the chaos surrounding them. Lucas's heart pounds. Clarity fights against the storm of emotions. The sirens wail closer now, screeching like banshees, cutting through the stunned silence. The crowd's murmurs swirl, blending into a cacophony of gasps and whispers. Did he... What just happened? Lucas's gaze locks onto Sophia, her expression painting a haunting mix of fear and confusion. Their connection, once bright with hope, now feels fragile, on the verge of shattering. He reaches out, a silent plea for understanding, but all he hears is chaos. Get away from him! The hooded figure, momentarily forgotten, shouts, pushing through the crowd, eyes darting, searching. Lucas's heart aches. Who is this man? Another threat? He's not sure, but he must protect Sophia. But just as the hooded man reaches her, he slips in the growing puddle of dark crimson, falling hard against the concrete. Sophia gasps, her eyes wide, but that's not what holds Lucas's breath captive. The man tumbles, and as he does, a shape falls from his pocket. A scrap of paper, crumpled and dirty, fluttering to the ground. "Wait!" Lucas calls out, but it's lost in the uproar. The crowd begins to close in, like a tide rising, and suddenly Sophia's voice cuts through. "No!" She lunges forward, her hands brushing against the paper. Time seems to stretch as she picks it up, but the moment is shattered by another shout from Marcus. "Don't you see? She's playing you!" "It's all part of the game." His voice drips with malice, like poison seeping through the chaos. Lucas's world narrows to that scrap of paper as Sophia reads it, her face shifting through confusion to disbelief. "What? No," she whispers, the words barely escaping her lips. "What does it say?" Lucas urges, but she simply shakes her head, eyes glistening with unshed tears. Something's wrong, something deep, something that changes everything. Before he can reach her, a shout erupts from the crowd. "Look!" A woman breaks through, her face a visage of fury and pain. "You think you can just play God, Marcus? You think you're done?" Lucas's pulse quickens, tension tightening around him. Who is she? The crowd parts as she approaches Marcus. "You'll pay for this! You think you're untouchable?" A crack of realization splits the air as she bends down, picking up the discarded paper. "This belongs to you." She hands it to Sophia, eyes narrowing. "You've been searching for answers, haven't you?" Sophia stares, the paper trembling in her hands. Lucas watches, confused, the weight of dread pressing on his chest. Who is this woman? Why does she speak with such certainty? Look at it! Don't you understand? The woman urges. Sophia inhales sharply, eyes darting over the words. In an instant, her expression shifts, shock twisting into something darker, deeper, a truth unveiled. No, it can't be, Sophia says, her face paling. This can't be real. Lucas feels the ground beneath him crumble as Sophia's eyes meet his, a mix of despair and betrayal woven into a single glance. He can't breathe. The words unspoken loom large, heavy with implications. The sirens command attention again, lighting up the chaos. What's going on? Voices erupt as the police begin to arrive, weaving through the confusion. But before everything is drowned in the noise, flickers of what's to come buzz in the air. The truth is out there, waiting to be grasped. But can he hold on when it feels like it might slip away? What did that paper hold? The storm isn't just coming, it's here. And the question now lingers heavy. Who are they really fighting? And what parts of their past are about to surface? Lucas watched as Sophia faded into the crowd, a ghost of light against the shadows of the city. His heart raced, a wild mix of hope and dread, grasping at him. He tried to shake it off, to tell himself that they could navigate this uncertain path together. But a chill ran down his spine. What price would they pay for this spark? Just then, a sudden scream pierced the air like glass breaking. The crowd turned. ... Lucas leaned closer to the window, every muscle tensing. "What was that?" he whispered. People surged forward, a wave of confusion and fear moving fast. Lucas struggled against the confines of his chair, straining for a better view. He could see it now, a flash of red. A woman was on the ground, her white shirt blooming with crimson. Panic rippled through the spectators. Gasps, cries, chaos erupted. "Get back! Clear the area!" an officer shouted, but nobody listened. Blood painted the sidewalk, and oddly, amidst the swirl of bodies, he recognized her. Sophia! His heart drew full, throat constricting painfully. No. He was fighting against a fierce panic as the crowd shifted. People stepping back, some covering their mouths in shock. Lucas clawed at his chair's arms, desperate to be part of it, to demand to help. But then he noticed something strange. A tall figure lingering at the scene's edge. Marcus. Lucas felt his stomach twist. Was he really watching? A smirk stretched across Marcus's face, cold and calculating. No. Lucas's breath hitched. Could he have? No, that was too monstrous, even for Marcus. Surely he wouldn't go this far. But as officers pushed through the throng, one called for an ambulance. Lucas's breath quickened. He could see Sophia, her eyes fluttering, the light inside dimming. The world around him blurred. Lucas's mind raced. What had happened? Why was Sophia on the ground? Was this some cruel twist of fate? A punishment? Suddenly he felt a wave of nausea crash over him. He was cut off by another scream. A young girl raced past, sobbing. "Mommy! Mommy!" The girl tumbled to the ground, crying loudly. Lucas's heart shattered like glass. A mother. How could this be happening? Hadn't Sophia breathed life into his beaten spirit just moments ago? And then there was a loud banging. More chaos erupted as people turned, rushing away. Lucas's chest tightened, each beat echoing the dread clawing at him. Then, amidst the chaos, a single voice broke through the turmoil. You have to help her. Somebody, please, a man cried, his eyes wild. She's not just a nobody. She's important. Lucas felt a jolt of indignation, and curiosity swept over him. Who was she? Why was this man shouting? What did he know? Lucas strained to hear, but the crowd drowned him out. He glanced over at Marcus, whose smirk had morphed into a frown, his eyes narrowing, calculating. They locked eyes for a heartbeat, and Lucas felt a chill. A shadow passed overhead, the ambulance siren cutting through the din. He felt a twisting knot in his gut. What had he stumbled into? Lucas! A voice stirred him, one of the paramedics. We need you to wait here. It's serious. Lucas's heart raced as Marcus slipped away, the edges of the scene blurring. What secret did he harbor about Sophia? Did he know something that could change everything Lucas thought he understood? As the sirens grew closer, Lucas realized he might be losing more than just a friend today. The night thickened with uncertainty, and the truth hung in the air, waiting to unravel. Lucas watches from his window, the sparkle fading from Sophia's eyes as she disappears into the crowd. His fingers tighten on the chair's arms. Hope battles dread inside him. Can this wild connection survive the coming storm? Or will the past consume them both? He blinks, the light shifting, shadows stretching across the square below. Suddenly, chaos erupts. A scream slices through the hum of the city, sharp as broken glass. Lucas's heart races. He leans closer, straining to see. People are scattering in every direction, faces twisted in terror. What is happening? The loud crack of a gunshot echoes like thunder. The crowd gasps, panic rippling through bodies like an electric shock. Lucas's breath catches. He sees a figure in the distance, tall and imposing, shouting, arms waving. It's Marcus. What is he doing? A surge of cold fear chills Lucas's spine. He recognizes that familiar suit, the polished facade hiding dangerous ambition. Marcus is never one to let a moment slip by. Beyond him, Sophia is trying to guide Michael away from the chaos, but her legs are heavy. Lucas es hartondera. Move! He grips the frame of his window desperate. But then it happens. Marcus shóvase alguien. A man in the crowd stumbles, and as if in slow motion, the man falls hard. Lucas's chest tightens, a knot of horror forming. He's seen that face before. It's Jamal, a local artist and friend to Sophia. Marcus's eyes gleam, filled with cruel satisfaction. Why? Lucas whispers, his voice shaking. A sick realization dawns on him. Marcus is not just protecting his empire. He is trying to snuff out Sophia's spark. And now he's using violence to do it. Lucas's thoughts spiral. If he doesn't act, everything will be lost. The square erupts into screams. A woman collapses. A child cries. Everything feels surreal, like a nightmare playing out in real life. Amidst the chaos, Lucas spots Sophia on her knees beside Jamal, cradling his head. Pain radiates from the way she moves, the fear carving deeper lines into her face. His breath hitches. He can't let this continue. Lucas's mind races, plotting. He might be confined to his chair, but he is not powerless. There are steps he can take, ways to fight back. Maybe he can reach out to the people who believe in Sophia. But first, he scans the crowd again. Not just for help. He searches for Marcus's gaze, that predator lurking in the chaos. Their eyes meet, a clash of wills across the distance. Then, just like that, Marcus smirks, pulling out his phone. Lucas can't breathe. He feels the world slowing, the sounds fading. He sees it, a flash of light. A video? Marcus is recording this chaos. With every flash, he's capturing their downfall. Anger ignites inside Lucas. This can't be how it ends. Not for him. Not for Sophia. But then something even more shocking happens. As he reaches for his phone to call for help, he feels a sharp pain shoot through his chest. He gasps, fingers trembling. No, not now! He can't! His assistant bursts through the door, eyes wide with panic. "Lucas!" she shouts. "We need to go! You're needed! This isn't just a riot!" A chilling revelation runs down Lucas's spine. Why would he be needed? What has Marcus done? Panic clutches at him, tighter than ever before. Sophia is in danger. Jamal is on the ground. The city is spiraling. And just when he thought he would fight back, the fight looks like it might consume everything he loves. The night waits. So does the truth. Lucas watches from his window, heart pounding. Sophia's flare dwindles away, her vibrant spirit swallowed by the gray mass of the city. Then he notices it, an ominous figure slipping through the crowd. Marcus. The predator's eyes glisten with malicious intent, scanning for weakness. Fear grips Lucas, a cold hand around his chest. He grips the chair tighter, watching, desperate to protect the fragile spark that just ignited. A sudden commotion erupts outside, shouting, gasps filling the air. Lucas leans forward, straining to see. A crowd has gathered. Something isn't right. His pulse quickens as he spots a flash of gold. A knife? Is that a knife? His heart races. Adrenaline floods his veins. "Get back!" someone screams, a woman's voice, frantic. The crowd surges, shifting, a wave of panic ripping through. Lucas squints, his breath hitching in his throat. Sophia stands at the center, eyes wide with shock. A child gripping her hand. Michael. "Run!" he shouts, but the sound escapes him, lost to the chaos. Marcus is moving now, threading through the throng, intent. Lucas feels the world tilting, gravity pulling him down. He shouts again, desperate. "Sophia, go!" But she doesn't hear, not over the gasps and shouts, not over the chaos unfolding before him. Then it happens, an explosion of silence followed by a crash. A man, no, Marcus, lunges. In the flash of an eye, the knife plunges down. Time freezes. No! The world stops. Then, a piercing scream cuts through the thick tension, sharp and real. It's Sophia! Lucas watches in horror as she shoves Michael to safety. The child stumbles back, confusion plastered on his tiny face. Still, Sophia takes the blow meant for him. An edge of pain escapes Lucas, a cry clawing at his insides. Men and women shuffle backward, eyes as wide as saucers. mouths agape. The air grows heavy with disbelief. Lucas can't breathe. Fear wraps around his throat like a vice. He should be down there. He should be protecting them. But he's trapped, immobilized in a chair that has turned into a prison. More shouts erupt. Someone tackles Marcus to the ground, fists flying, shock exploding among onlookers. A cacophony of sounds. Sirens blare in the distance, a discordant wailing growing louder, threatening to drown him. Lucas leans forward, neck straining, eyes glued to Sophia crumpling. "Stay with me," he hears her whisper, but the words may as well be a haunting echo, not meant for anyone. The world tilts again. The crowd disperses, pushing forward, frantic, desperate to help. And suddenly, in that split second between chaos and quiet, Lucas feels it, the truth crashing down. A sense of betrayal seeping in. He barely knows her. Who is she, really? A surviving light in a world that dims its stars, or something darker? What does she hide behind that radiant smile? As sirens converge, pitch rising, Lucas can't shake the sense that maybe he's caught in someone else's tangled web. Maybe they both are. A chilling realization sinks in, twisting his gut tighter. The storm isn't just coming, it's here. With Sophia bleeding and Marcus subdued, Lucas's mind races. Who is the real predator? And when truth unravels, will it shatter everything he thought he knew? The night yawns ahead, dark and full of unknowns. And so does the truth. Lucas watches the square, heart pounding wildly. Sophia is on her knees, cradling Jamal's head like a mother protecting her child. Blood spills onto the pavement, smeared and bright, turning the vibrant scene into a nightmare. Chaos dances around them, screams, sirens, confusion. And then, without warning, the air freezes. A figure moves through the crowd. Phillips, the journalist, the one who had hounded Lucas relentlessly for a story. With a camera slung around his neck, he pushes past onlookers, eyes wide. He's all frantic motions, like a rabbit sensing danger, darting toward the chaos unfolding. "Get away!" Lucas shouts, not sure who he's actually warning. He tightens his grip on the chair. He feels powerless, like he's watching a storm from way too far away. Phillips raises his camera, snapping rapid-fire shots. "This is gold!" he exclaims, breathless. He's not there to help. He's there to exploit. Lucas can see it, clear as day. The man thrives on chaos, and this is his feast. "Stop!" Lucas screams again. But Phillips is already drawn in, too close to the flames. He's oblivious to the wounds, too focused on capturing the moment. The image, the twisted spectacle that feeds a hungry audience. Lucas's stomach churns, but Phillips does something unexpected. He looks directly at Sophia, his expression shifting, suddenly revealing a glimmer of recognition. "Sophia!" he yells, as if he's seen a ghost. "Is that really you?" The crowd hushes, eyes turn. There's something in Phillips's tone. Shock? Horror? It pulls Lucas into an even darker whirlpool as he sees Phillips's hand shake. What does he know? Sophia looks up, startled, her face pale, the blood at her fingertips smeared like watercolor against her skin. What are you talking about? She's gasping. Confusion and fear knotted together on her face. But it's the next words that send shockwaves through the crowd. You don't remember me, do you? You were supposed to be at the award ceremony. The night of the incident. What incident? The silence hangs, heavy, dripping with unspoken truths. Faces knit into expressions of doubt and awe. Murmurs ripple through the gathering. Lucas feels the world tipping again, 1,000 questions clawing at him. What are you talking about? Sophia repeats, her voice a whisper now, trembling. Phillips's eyes widen, like he's just stumbled onto buried treasure. You vanished! It was everywhere! The headlines, the panic, the talent no one wanted to lose. Panic grips Lucas. Talent? What talent? An artist? But all he sees is Sophia, just the vibrant, heart-filled woman below. No, that night changed everything, Sophia. The incident, it was never just a mistake. It was planned. You were framed! Philip's voice cuts through the murmurs. Sophia's breath catches. That's not true. Lucas's heart races. He looks at her, searching for answers. What did she do? What did she know? A hand falls on his shoulder. His assistant. You need to go down there, she urges. If she's in danger, you can't stay here. But he can't move. He's too gripped by the storm of revelation. Phillips is revealing threads Lucas never knew existed. And then, like a cruel flash of lightning striking the ground, Sophia makes eye contact with Marcus, who lies still, a shadow slipping away. But that's not the twist. It's when she whispers, he knows the truth. A gasp spreads through the crowd. The world spins. Marcus is more than the monster. He holds the key, the dark puzzle piece, the secret keeping them all from the past. Lucas can feel everything slipping. What truth? What have they hidden? The tension thickens. The sirens wail louder, drawing nearer. And somewhere, a storm brews. What comes next? Lucas can barely breathe, a question echoing in the crowded square. How deep does this darkness go? The tension thickens like a fog, heavy and unyielding. Sophia can't tear her eyes away from Marcus, the man who once wielded power over her life. He knows the truth, she whispers, barely audible, yet enough to send shockwaves through the crowd. Lucas feels the heat of it, a wildfire consuming his heart. Then, as if the universe itself decides to crack, the ground shakes beneath them, a deafening boom erupts, and chaos reigns. The pavement rattles, and the very air seems to split open. Lucas blinks, disbelief flooding his mind, when suddenly, from behind the crowd, a massive explosion sends shards of glass flying like deadly shrapnel. Lucas's chair rocks violently. He grips the arms, panic surging through him. People scream, some falling, others desperately trying to escape the growing wave of terror. The chaos becomes a storm, pulling him under with no chance to breathe. But it stirs from the shadows, a tall man in a dark coat, familiar yet terrifying. Lucas's stomach sinks. No, it can't be. Mom! A cry rings out, not just any child, but Michael, sprinting toward the figure, innocent and unaware. Lucas's heart drops to his stomach, dread colliding with the shattering screams. "No!" he shouts, pushing at his chair, legs screaming to move, but he is locked in. The figure stands their ground, turning its head slowly, face partially obscured. The world slows down. Lucas is powerless, aching to intervene. Sophia's eyes widen, looking back and forth, heart wrenching in her chest. "Michael, stop!" she screams, the desperation in her voice cutting through the noise, but it's too late. The figure reaches out, and in a flash, Michael's small body collides with it. The crowd gasps, a moment of collective horror freezing the air. Time hangs like a dying breath, a moment teetering on the edge of possibilities. Then it happens. The figure drops to one knee, holding Michael close, a dark laugh echoing through the haze. "Missed you, little one?" The voice, slick and sinister, cuts through the chaos, lacing Lucas's spine with ice. Recognition slams into Lucas, heart racing and thumping. The man was once a shadow in the background of his life, an informant, a connection to everything he had escaped. "Ethan!" The name escapes Lucas's lips, barely more than a whisper. Why is he here? What does he want? Ethan's gaze narrows, dark pools swirling with danger. "You thought you could just forget?" he taunts, raising his gaze to Lucas, his smile twisted. "Your past doesn't die, it just waits." Sophia's breath itches. "What do you want with Michael?" she shouts, rage coiling in her voice. "Everything and everyone connected," Ethan replies, a cruel glint in his eyes. "You don't understand," he continues, shifting slightly. "You're not just a dancer, Sophia. You're the key to it all. And now it's time to settle old scores." As the realization washes over the crowd, a collective gasp ripples through them. Whispers rise, panic swirling back into chaos. Lucas can't breathe, confusion spreading through him. "What are you talking about?" he manages to call out. But as the sirens wail closer, the truth threatens to burst. Michael's innocent eyes flicker from Ethan to Sophia, uncomprehending. The weight of the moment presses down, a tide of complications crashing against the shore of their lives. Boom! Without warning, Ethan takes a step back, holding Michael tighter. "You're all part of this story now," he declares, voice booming. "And some stories deserve a bloody ending." The world spins, Lucas needing to scream, needing to run, but he's stuck, anchored to the truth he never wanted. The fabric of their reality threads away from safety, spiraling into nightmares. What just happened? What truth now unveils itself, ready to tear apart everything they thought to know? The storm hasn't just begun, it's descended upon them. And as the sirens close in, dark clouds hover, ready to unleash what lies deep beneath the surface. Lucas's heart raced, a wild drumbeat echoing in his chest, as he watched Michael slip further into Ethan's grasp. "No!" he yelled, desperate. The chaos swirled around him, screams blending into a nightmarish symphony. Sophia was frozen, eyes darting between her son and the looming threat, confusion spreading on her face like ink in water. Ethan's smirk only widened. "You think you've all escaped?" he taunted, gripping Michael tighter. The crowd stood paralyzed, fear etched on their faces, unsure of what to do next. "Your past is a shadow, and now it's time to pay for it." "Let him go!" Sophia shouted, taking a step forward. Lucas could see the fire igniting within her. pushing through the ice of uncertainty. But Ethan, with calculated ease, stepped back, using Michael as a shield. Suddenly, a voice cut through the dense fog of panic. "Stop this madness!" It was Jamal, bandaged, yet determined, staggered, but alive. He fought through the crowd, eyes ablaze with urgency. "They're lying to you, Sophia. Marcus, he's in cahoots with Ethan." "No." Marcus's voice rang out, trapped in a world of chaos. "You don't understand what's at stake." With one swift motion, Jamal pulled out his phone, the screen lit with damning evidence. "You need to see this. Ethan's behind it all. He set you up, Sophia. It was never your fault." The crowd gasped, a wave of realization crashing over them. Luca saw Sophia's face shift, her eyes hardening as she absorbed Jamal's words. She'd been living with shadows for so long. "Show me," she demanded, voice fierce. Jamal hurriedly swiped through the screen before handing it to her. As Sophia scanned the content, horror burned in her eyes, the weight of betrayal sinking deep. "Ethan," she muttered, piecing together the fragments of her shattered life. "Enough!" Ethan shouted, panic creeping into his tone. He tugged at Michael, but the boy squirmed, sensing the tension. "You'll regret this!" At that moment, sirens wailed, louder, closer. Police swarmed the square. Officers poured in, flashing lights cutting through the haze. The crowd's energy shifted, a current of panic mixed with hope, waiting for authority to step in. Lucas's heart raced. "Sophia!" he shouted. "You have to believe him!" Her gaze snapped back to him, searching for certainty. "What do we do?" "It's time to confront this monster," he urged. "Together!" As the police reached them, Ethan's grip faltered. He hesitated. Jamal stepped forward, ready. "This ends now." With a surge of courage, Sophia moved to stand in front of Michael. "You will not touch him." Her voice pierced the uncertainty, pure and powerful. In that moment, the tension broke. The officers closed in on Ethan and started to restrain him. "You're under arrest," one of them barked. A collective sense of relief washed over the crowd. Lucas felt tears stinging his eyes as he watched Michael run to Sophia. "Mom!" he cried, wrapping his arms around her. Sophia knelt, pulling her son close, tears spilling over her cheeks. Lucas felt a rush of pride and affection swelling within him, igniting the hope that had flickered out before. The scene shifted. Officers escorted Ethan away, shouting orders to clear the square. Tension began to ease. Jamal stood beside Sophia, supporting her with his presence. "We'll figure this out," he said softly, looking at her. Lucas felt his heart lighten, though shadows still loomed. Could everything truly be over? Then, in the distance, a familiar sound echoed. The soft thrum of an engine. A helicopter hovering above. The night felt heavy, but as air swirled around them, Lucas caught Sophia's gaze. There was a spark, a new beginning. But the truth lingered. Wherever they turned, the past would still cast its shadow. Lucas felt uncertainty whispering once more, clawing at the edges of this hopeful moment. And then it hit him, a realization. The past might haunt them, but if they faced it together, they could break its hold. As the sirens faded, a feeling of warmth wrapped around them. The future was uncertain, yes, but perhaps there would be light. "Hey, you!" Lucas's assistant broke through. "What's your next move? Time to rebuild?" Lucas turned, a smile creeping on his face. Life had knocked them down, but hope flickered between them now. Yes, he replied, determination filling his voice. Together. And so, he watched as they stood together, through storms, through light, rebuilding a world forged in the fire of truth. But the question still hung, waiting on whispers in the dark. What lay ahead? How deep did this truth go? Now you've reached the end of this chapter, but it isn't over yet. You have to subscribe now to the channel. Don't miss the upcoming exclusive stories that will take you on even wilder rides. Smash that like button to feed the algorithm. Your support means everything. And flood the comment section with your reactions and theories. What do you think is coming next? Finally, if you've loved this story, share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need to join this journey. This is your moment to shine. Don't wait even a second longer. Let's keep this amazing community alive.